Welcome everyone to Water and Iron. We're going to make a chocolate cake today. You're here with Sean, who we're calling the Doctor, and Prankster. Let's get ready and make the cake. 1 cup water, 3 eggs, 1/3 cup vegetable oil, cake mix and frosting. Endless edge brownie pan, perfect for cakes. Stand mixer. Okay, let's get started. We got to preheat our oven to 325 degrees based on the directions for the box. Next directions is we need to mix everything together. Water, 1 cup water, 1/3 cup of our vegetable oil, eggs, 1 egg, 2 eggs, 3 eggs. All right, we'll crack our eggs. We don't need to worry about mixing them. That's what the mixer's going to do. So again, we're just putting our 3 cracked eggs right here into our mixer bowl. And again, cake mix. Nothing wrong with cake mix. It's just the same ingredients pre-mixed. Saves time. If you want to do the flour and cocoa powder and all that stuff yourself, have at it. Not I, says I. Okay. So, we have difficulty with the bag opening up, but we do it anyway. We're going to put, again, all the mix in there. There we go, it's all in. Okay. Connect it to our stand mixer. Like that. Put this guy down. We're going to mix this for 30 seconds. I'll lock the arm so that way it stays down. We're going to keep track of the time. 30 seconds. And all we're looking to do here is we're just looking to get it mixed so that way it's all together and everything's wet. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to get a whisk and I am going to whisk it independently just to get that mix in there so that way we can get it beat properly. Beated, betted. We'll figure it out. Alright, so again, just mixing. I don't care about clumps. None of that matters. Just want everything wet. We don't want to see any dry packets of mix. Nothing messy like that. Alright. Now we've done that step. Super easy. What we're going to do now is we're going to run this and let the machine do the beating for 2 minutes. We have a little kitchen timer that we're going to set. It's going to help us keep track of that 2 minutes. Alright, so that's beating. Over here, set my kitchen timer for 2 minutes. While that's running, let's go ahead and grease our pan. Again, we are using this Baker's Edge pan, made for brownies, but it's awesome for it. So, I'm going to hold this over the sink, and I'm just going to give it a good spray. I get the pan with flour, easiest way to grease the pan. And I'm getting it all throughout there, because some batter's probably going to get on the sides. Alright, so we've done that. We're going to go ahead and again let this go for 1.5 minutes. As we're beating here, we're seeing the batter, it's becoming more smooth, more creamy, not as dark. Like that means we're done beating. So we're going to go ahead and turn that off. Our oven is still preheating. While that's happening, let's go ahead and get this assembled into our pan. Just going to get the extra batter on the side here. Okay, now that we've got everything mixed all well, let's go ahead and look at that. Mixed nice. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get this into the pan. I am going to use a spatula to kind of help us guide the mix as it goes in here. This isn't like a normal pan that you can use. I'm going to just pour it in one spot. We got to make sure it distributes evenly across the edges. So we do that by pouring in here. We might want to get a better shot of this. So that way we get all the chocolate cake, all the batter that we just worked so hard at mixing. We want to make sure it is evenly distributed throughout this pan. If not, we'll have a uneven, lumpy cake, and no one likes a lumpy cake. Oh, lumpy cake still tastes delicious. All right, our oven is preheated. That's what that sound means. So, let me get the rest of this mix out and just level off this pan. After I get all the mix out of this bowl, I'm gonna give the pan a little shake. Just make sure it all settles down and gets into one spot. Again, getting every last bit of this batter so that way we can have ourselves a delicious cake. All right, now that I've done that, I'm just gonna take my spatula and just kind of work it through here just to make sure the mix gets around okay. If some cake mix gets up on the sides, that's all right. That'll just be a yummy, crunchy portion. Okay, now that everything seems to be somewhat evened out, I am going to go ahead and put this into our oven. Again, we set our oven at 325 degrees. Those are the directions on the box for a dark or coated pan, which Baker's Edge is. Also recommended adding 2 or 3 minutes to the baking time for that. So what we're going to do is put this in the oven and then cook it for 35 minutes at 325 degrees. Just put it in the top rack, it's a batter, and we will see you guys in 35 minutes. Timer went off, so let's go and check it. It went 35 minutes, but 35 minutes is what they tell you on the box. 35 minutes is not what actually matters. What matters is, so we put a toothpick in it, and if that toothpick comes out cleanly, then we know everything's baked. If not, then it needs to cook a little bit more. So I'm going to open up the oven, pull this guy back a little bit. Let's take a peek in that oven, see how yummy that cake looks. Oh yeah, okay. We got some good cracking on top. I got it spread all across. So again, pierce that, clean, perfect. All right. Now it's gonna cool for 15 minutes on the rack, and then we're gonna take it off the rack and let it cool completely before frosting. Okay, our cake has cooled for about 15 minutes on this pan, so we're gonna let it cool on a rack. We're gonna do the double flip. So I'm gonna take the little knife thingy that they have, just run along the edges, make sure it's not stuck anywhere. I can already feel from the crunch of the crust, and you can kind of see the sponginess of the cake that it's still doing a-okay. We'll just flip it so that way it can continue cooling. And then once it's completely cooled, that's when Prankster gets to do his frosting. So, we got it all separated from the pan, feels like. We're gonna do, like I said, a double flip. So we're just gonna flip this upside down. Looks like a big M. It's fun. Knock, knock, knock. Okay, completely out of the pan. And then, take this little guy. Oh, he's a little bit small. That's okay. Do the double flip there again. All right, we're gonna let it cool. So after that, after it cools, we're gonna go ahead and get that all lined up and frosted. Good. Okay, we have reached the best part of any sort of cake video, which is the frosting and the tasting. So we have Prankster here who is doing some frosting. He's got frosting on the knife, having some difficulty getting it from the knife to the cake, but he's got it. He said he just wants to taste a little bit of it, not a lot. So I think that's the frosting that we're gonna need. If you wanna just cut that little piece off. Oh, we're still fine tuning that frosting. Okay, getting it all over. Making sure frosting is all over the place. Now, generally, some people like to frost the entire cake. Generally, what we like to do is to frost just the piece that we're going to eat. That way, we don't have frosting just kind of sitting out and sitting on top of the cake. So Nick's successfully frosted that little piece. So now he's going to take the little black plastic piece that came with the set. He's going to do a big cut right down the guts of that guy. Make sure he gets all the little frosting. Everything that he frosted with this Prankster. And we're gonna put this on a plate. Okay. All right, now you gotta show me that plate, Prankster. Pick up that plate and bring it here to the camera. Okay. Ooh, look at that, okay. Look at that frosting and look at that cake. When you look inside the cake, it's one of the things that you want to look for is little air pockets. That shows that it's crumbled and that it baked properly. All right, now the taste test. Now you gotta take a bite of the cake, not the entire cake.
I'm not trying to eat the entire.
All right, getting into it. Big bite. What's the verdict, prankster? So good you're passing out? Is that what that means? All right. Well, thank you for joining us. Another successful video. One egg. 2 egg. 3 egg. Ho! Daylight come and we won't go.
Are you gonna edit that?
I guess I am now.